You're watching Station Zero.
Welcome to Station Zero. In tonight's episode, we'll be discussing the most disturbing episode of R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour, the series. Hope you enjoy. R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour, the series was a Canadian-American horror anthology series that premiered on the Hub Network in the fall of 2010 and was based on stories from R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour and The Nightmare Hour. It ran for 4 seasons with a total of 76 22-minute episodes before the series was subsequently cancelled in 2014. The premise of the show was very much in the vein of Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, where each episode features a different cast of characters in a scary situation, whether that would involve ghosts, aliens, dolls, monsters, and more. However, unlike Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, The Haunting Hour was much darker than its aforementioned predecessors and served as a dark cautionary tale. While Goosebumps left their endings up to interpretation, The Haunting Hour's endings were clear and permanent, with not even the main characters being saved from a dark and cruel fate. Not every ending was all doom and gloom, however, with some episodes ending on a more optimistic note, having the main protagonist learn their lesson, similar to Are You Afraid of the Dark? The series currently sits at an 8 out of 10 on IMDb and was very well received by viewers at the time of airing. The Haunting Hour also featured some very famous child actors to come out of the show at the time, including Mackenzie Foy, Billy Madison, Debbie Ryan, Jeremy Ray Taylor, and many more who got their start on the series. For the creatures of the show, most of them were made with practical effects, which helped to sell all the scare factors for the child actors, as well as the audience at home. Creatures like Big Yellow, Lily D, Clement, aliens, and more were all made using practical effects, which really gave off an unsettling atmosphere. Across their 76-episode run, R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour has some downright horrifying episodes that will leave you squirming in your seat even after the credits have finished rolling. Episodes such as Really You, The Dead Body, Walls, Lights Out, Scary Mary, and much more are classic examples of how to leave a lasting impact with viewers and make them come back for more. We'll be sure to cover more episodes of The Haunting Hour in future videos, but for now, we'll be discussing, quite possibly, the most disturbing episode of the series from Season 1, entitled Catching Cold. Spoilers for the episode. Catching Cold is the 17th episode of The Haunting Hour, which aired on April 9th, 2011. The episode stars Robert Capron from Diary of a Wimpy Kid fame as our protagonist Marty. In the episode, we are introduced to Marty, a lazy kid who wants nothing more than to do things when he wants to.
Marty, didn't I ask you to clean up your room?
No. You said, how can you stand living in a pigsty?
When he hears the nearby jingle of an ice cream truck, he frantically asks his mother and sister if he can borrow some money.
The ice cream truck! I need money for the ice cream truck!
You know how to earn money.
I'll do it later, come on!
Unsatisfied with this answer, Marty takes it upon himself to steal some money in a nearby drawer and chase after the truck, just narrowly missing his chance at some Kreemy Kold ice cream.
Wait!
As Marty and his friend Ari are walking across the sidewalk talking about Kreemy Kold ice cream, they are stopped by the local mailman who tells them the story of little Jimmy Jeffrey.
Did you say Kreemy Kold? Kreemy Kold ice cream?
You know Kreemy Kold?
Haven't heard that name since I was a kid. There was this boy. Jimmy Jeffries? Yeah, little Jimmy Jeffries. He used to talk about a Kreemy Kold truck. Matter of fact, that's all he could talk about. Said he could never catch the truck, but that it left him some of this Kreemy Kold ice cream.
Left him?
Yeah, crazy, right? And then Jimmy said it wasn't like any ice cream in the world, that it was the smoothest, the creamiest. Oh boy, he'd go on and on for hours about it. Swore he was going to catch that truck. He was nuts about it.
Did you get any?
No, we never saw a truck. We didn't believe him.
I saw it. The Kreemy Kold truck? I saw it yesterday. But I couldn't catch it.
We thought he was making it up. You know, I wonder whatever happened to that Jimmy Jeffries. One day he was there, babbling on about Kreemy Kold, and the next day, he was gone. Well, take her easy.
Later that night, Marty again hears the mysterious jingle of the Kreemy Kold truck and follows it to his front porch where a singular ice cream cone is waiting for him at his feet. As he begins devouring the ice cream, the eerie headlights of the Kreemy Kold truck observe him until he finishes all of it. Now obsessed, Marty demands that they
More! Give me more! No! Give me more! I want more! I want more! More!
until the ice cream truck drives away. The next day, Marty tells Ari about his encounter with the Kreemy Kold truck and how delicious the ice cream was.
This ice cream, the way it tasted, I can't describe it. It was like heaven was melting over my tongue.
A few hours later, Marty can be seen sitting at his desk, drawing a triple-decker ice cream cone onto a piece of paper before pulling it up to his mouth and licking it, desperately wanting another taste of that delicious Kreemy Kold ice cream. Around 3 a.m., Marty is awoken by the sound of the faucet dripping the jingle of the Kreemy Kold ice cream truck.
Huh?
To which he turns off, only to then have his alarm clock go off with the same unsettling tune. As he unplugs his alarm clock, the real Kreemy Kold truck is again waiting for him outside of his house, but as Marty goes to investigate, his father calls to him asking,
Marty, what are you doing out there?
It was right there!
where it's revealed that only Marty can see the Kreemy Kold truck. As the next day rolls around, Marty is slowly losing his sanity, claiming that he is special and that the reason his father could not see the truck was because you have to believe in it, believe that it's there.
I think it's because I'm special. I think you have to believe in order to see the truck. Like that Jimmy Jeffries kid the postman was talking about. Jimmy Jeffries must have believed.
Believed in what?
In Kreemy Kold.
As Ari begins to get more and more worried about Marty's sanity, Marty tells him that Kreemy Kold isn't just ice cream, but it's the food of the gods.
Kreemy Kold isn't just ice cream. It's the food of the gods. I want more. I want a freezer full. I want a room full. I'd like to dive into a giant tub of Kreemy Kold and lick my way to the top.
That's a disgusting image, Marty.
To which Ari claims that his fantasy is disgusting and Marty blows up in his face, telling him to go home.
Really? Go home.
As Ari leaves the room, the camera pans over to Marty, who is scribbling inside of his textbook, writing over and over again those two words, Kreemy Kold. Cut to mid-afternoon, and Marty is walking down the street mumbling the words, almost like he is in a sort of trance when he is startled by a police siren, his father's police siren, who calls him over to show him the brand new bike he got him and claiming that he's worried about him and that he doesn't seem to be all there.
Truth is, I'm a little concerned about you, son. You kind of have a dazed look on your face all the time.
Uninterested in the bike, Marty notices the large spike sitting in the truck and asks,
What's that?
It's a spike strip. Blows out the bad guy's tires.
before his father drives off, and the mysterious Kreemy Kold truck can be seen eerily trailing behind him. After meeting Ari at his house, Ari apologizes about the other night before offering Marty some alternative ice cream.
Ice cream. All different kinds. Here. Try this one.
To which Marty claims is junk and goes off about how the truck is testing him and it wants to see if he has what it takes to catch it.
Listen to me, Ari. I figured out what the truck wants from me. It's testing me. It wants to see if I have what it takes to catch it. Only the bold get the Kreemy Kold.
Marty then decides to sell his bike to Ari to get some money for the next time he runs into the Kreemy Kold truck. At dinner, Marty quickly devours his food before stealing his father's spike trip from the trunk of his car and waits for the arrival of the Kreemy Kold truck. He begins having visions of the ice cream, which seem to indicate that he is descending more and more into madness. After struggling to get the spike strip out of his backpack, he narrowly misses the truck and hangs his head in defeat. But before long, Marty notices that at the end of the road, the truck begins slowly turning around and heading in his direction. This is when he decides to take the opportunity to lay out the spike strip onto the road, which successfully manages to stop the Kreemy Kold truck. Marty then climbs inside of the truck and takes another one of the ice cream cones from on top of the freezer. The camera then pans, revealing a very disheveled man who mumbles,
Was it everything you imagined?
to which Marty offers him money, but he explains that
It doesn't want your money.
It?
The truck.
before we finally get to see the man in his entirety, an overweight, messy, bearded man who blankly stares at Marty until we find out.
You're him. The kid who caught the truck. You're Jimmy Jeffries.
Yeah, little Jimmy Jeffries. That's me. Do you have any idea how long I have waited for someone to want it as bad as I did? I knew it would be you from the first moment I saw you, Marty.
After he explains to Marty that he has been waiting for someone to want the ice cream as bad as he did, he opens up the back of the truck and climbs out, to which Marty replies,
You have to drive the truck.
The truck doesn't need a driver. It has a mind of its own. All it needs is a soul.
What?
For 30 years, it had my soul. And now it has yours. That's the price for Kreemy Kold ice cream, Marty.
The doors to the truck then close on their own, with Marty screaming for him to let him out, and Jimmy Jeffrey explains that
The truck is all yours. Until someone else catches you. Until then, it's all you can eat.
before he begins repeating the same unsettling words.
It's all you can eat. It's all you can eat.
Let me out!
It's all you can eat. It's all you can eat.
The truck drives off as the credits roll. I remember watching this episode when it first aired and being extremely disturbed by it. Everything from the jingle of the ice cream truck to the appearance of Jimmy Jeffrey. Everything in this episode truly makes you feel uncomfortable, and it's one of the main reasons why R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour was such an amazing show. Did you watch The Haunting Hour? And if so, which episode was your favorite? And what episode would you like me to review next? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on the bell to be up to date on our latest uploads. And remember, don't change the channel.